What's up, everybody? My name is Genius, back again with another video. This time we're going to be talking about why hip-hop and fashion are synonymous. And first off, we'll talk about Bape. Bape as a clothing line. Started back in 1993. It's a Japanese clothing line, but it didn't make its like surge into hip-hop until like the early 2000s with a very notable rapper by the name of Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy started wearing Bape, and I got me some bathing apes. Like he started wearing bathing apes and the shoes and the clothes. Back then it has a different look than it does now, but yeah, back then, and a lot of people were wearing it. That was the era of the baggy clothes and the baggy shirts and the baggy jeans and everything like that. That was that era, and then it somehow faded away and made a resurgence in the last couple years with a whole new look. Nothing that I remember seeing when I was growing up, looking at, oh, I want to meet some Bape, and looking at it now, it's totally different and more expensive and more exclusive. Young and Reckless is a brand started by Chris Drama Path, who is Rob Dyrdek's cousin, and that started about like 6-7 years ago. And one of the sponsors that Young and Reckless has is Fetty Wap and A$AP Ferg. They sponsor both of them, and they both shot campaign photos in Young and Reckless gear. Nas and his History clothing line. Nas has a label called Mass Appeal, but he's also in the last years been trying to make a surge into the fashion game with his History clothing line. It's not a big name, but it is probably going to gain some heaviness as far as popularity in the next coming years if he continues to get artists like his artist Dave East wearing History clothing line. Commercials. So I only know one commercial, but it's big enough for me to talk about it. Old Navy. Old Navy has always been a company about saving money and good deals for nice things, and they make good quality stuff. I wear Old Navy. I don't wear it a lot, but I wear Old Navy. And they, as of a couple months ago, put out a commercial, and like I think one or two commercials, and they both featured that Lil Dicky song, Save Money. We gonna save that money. You remember that song? That song was featured on, with Fetty on the hook, was featured on the Old Navy commercial for their new campaign, whatever they're trying to start, whatever. And that's huge for hip hop. I'm not saying Old Navy doesn't appeal to the urban community, but for them to try to bridge that gap with the urban community will pay dividends for them in the future if they continue to do it. Next, a lot of artists talk about like different brands within their music, and that's a source of marketing nowadays. I think it will continue to become a source of marketing. I think brands will continue to align themselves with those artists, so those artists so those artists can talk about their brands and strike deals with those artists. Like, hey, you have to mention Puma in a song that's on your album or whatever, and we'll pay you X amount of money. I continue to think brands will continue to do that. Some brands that have gained some big influence and some big notoriety within the hip-hop urban community are Supreme, Givenchy, Kith, Raf Simons, Rick Owens, Robin Jeans, what else? Stussy, a lot of streetwear brands, but a lot of luxury streetwear brands have gained a lot of notoriety in the past couple years, and artists have been talking about them and wearing them a lot. But yeah, back to the marketing. I think in the next coming years, don't hold me to it, but I think in the next coming years, you're going to see a lot of brands start to align themselves with different artists and starting to pay those artists to make songs or to at least put their brand in that song that it's going to be on an album or on a mixtape or their single, and pay them hundreds of thousands of dollars to rap about wearing Puma, rap about wearing Supreme, rap about wearing Bape. So look out for a lot of artists to do that. And then you see, like I said, artists are aligning themselves with brands. You got Rihanna with Puma, she released a shoe. You got Meek Mill with Puma, he released a shoe. I haven't seen Wale align himself yet, but I'm sure that's to come. But he did have a Timberland collab with Tiffany, like the Tiffany blue Timberlands, and they're Timberland boots, and they're really dope. I wanted a pair, couldn't get them because they sold out really fast. But yeah, so you'll see a lot of artists do either collabs with brands or produce their own shoe with that brand, because hip hop and fashion are extremely synonymous, and it's good for the culture. You'll also see Champion and Feli and New Balance and Asics make a resurgence within like the hip hop community. Feli and New Balance and Asics and Champion were all big names in the 90s with like a lot of athletic wear and team name wear. Like I think team name wear. I mean like having a Charlotte Hornets hat or Charlotte Hornets jacket with the Champion logo on it. You know, people wore Champion and Feli religiously back in the 90s, and it kind of fell off. And you know, Nike and other big names, by way of hip hop artists, made those popular. Made Nike overshadow Feli and Champion, but now those brands are slowly regaining control and aligning themselves with influencers and providing them with gear and providing dope gear, and are doing well for themselves. I never thought I'd ever say that Puma was a hot brand. I don't wear Puma. I don't have a pair of Pumas, but those Rihanna sneakers are hot. The Meek Mill sneakers are hot. What they're doing with their whole branding campaign, as far as aligning themselves with hip hop artists and producing new designs, are beneficial and will be beneficial to those in the future. Well, that was my talk on why hip hop and fashion are synonymous. My name is Drew Genius. You can reach out to me on all my social networks at @OneDrewGenius, and email me for any business inquiries at thegeniusdaily@gmail.com. Peace.